Let's talk Tanya for the 27th of Shevat of a leap year. In the Tanya of the last 2 days, the Alter Rebbe explained how we can leverage our hidden love for God not to sin, despite any temptations that the animal soul throws in our direction. If we're to understand and truly internalize this idea that every sin is an expression of idolatry, and after all, we give up our lives not to be guilty of idolatry, so then we can abstain from any sin. Okay, so it works for that. But how about if I'm too lazy to do a mitzvah? Can I leverage my ava misoteres, my hidden love for that? So in order to do a mitzvah, really we could leverage the hidden love. And the reason for that is, the simple reason is that not doing a mitzvah is an avera, is a sin. If I'm supposed to shake a lulav and esrog and I don't, that's a sin. If I'm supposed to bench and I don't bench, so that's a sin. So considering that the hidden love is there to help me overcome the temptation to do a sin, that would also help me in an instance where I'm too lazy to do a mitzvah. But there's more to it than that, which is that as Jews, we're not only expected to do the right thing, we're not only expected to do mitzvahs, but as our sages tell us, that we have to be a gibar ka'ari, which means strong as a lion. We require the strength of a lion to not only do the mitzvah, but to do a mitzvah appropriately, to do it correctly. Not to allow our laziness to impact the way that we do a mitzvah. And Alter Rebbe, in today's Tanya, he gives us 3 examples of this. We know the Mishnah tells us that the world stands on 3 pillars. Pillar number 1 is Torah study. Pillar number 2 is davening, is prayer. And pillar number 3 is good deeds, mitzvahs and kindness. And in all 3 of these areas, in each one of them, the Alter Rebbe will give us an example. When it comes to learning Torah, okay, we could learn Torah. We could lie down on the couch with a book and read some Torah. And then there is being a gibar kari, being strong as a lion, learning Torah, which means with all our strength, with all our vigor, with all our concentration. And that's something which is not just doing the mitzvah, but doing it in an appropriate way, doing it correctly. Davening also. You can get away with davening, opening up the book, mumbling, thinking a little of the words that you're saying. And then there's davening the way you're supposed to daven, with all your concentration, with all your strength, with all your might. And the same thing is when it comes to charity. There's charity and there's charity. You can give charity, and then there's a person who gives charity more than they can afford. And something they're constantly giving and giving and giving and giving. Can we leverage our ava misoteres, our hidden love, not only to do the mitzvahs, but to do them with the correct and proper intensity and passion? It would seem that not, because after all, when I don't do a mitzvah, when I don't do a mitzvah correctly, it's not as if I'm cutting myself off from God. And it would seem that the hidden love, the whole point is that I am so frightened, I'm so afraid of, God forbid, severing my connection, my attachment with God. No, if I'm studying Torah, but I'm not putting in my full concentration, that can it be said that I'm cutting off my relationship with God? So can we leverage our hidden love for that? The answer to that question we'll find out in tomorrow's Tanya.